Hello Karthik, how are you today?
I'm awesome, Kaushik. How are you?
Amazing as always. Yes, Karthik. So today we are bringing on Vas, the man on the show. So he's your wolf on the Wall Street kind of person who started his typical sales career and now he's in one of the biggest enterprise. He's the director of growth at one of the biggest SaaS companies here in Chennai called Max
Yeah,
Street Den. So he's had this beautiful transition in his career and he lives by this one mantra, which he says, make the most of every single day.
yeah, yeah. And I remember meeting Vas and hearing him in the first Storytellers Tribe meeting last November. I think 19th of November, if I remember it correctly. But I loved the way he spoke, his demeanor, and the way he was interacting with us. It was a beautiful interaction. So I was always looking forward to speak to him, and I'm glad that we are talking to him today. Let's go high on stories.
Same here, Karthik. Let's get higher stories, the place where we bring you the best stories from around the world. Without further ado, let's bring Vasan, the man filled with values. Hello, Vas. Again, thank you so much for joining us here today. I've really been looking forward to have you. I've been talking to you for quite some time. I know you as a person as well, just like how I was talking to all our people just before we started. Thank you so much for being here again, Vas.
It's absolutely my pleasure.
Thank you,
Lovely.
Vas. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, my pleasure. No worries.
Yes, Vas. So right off the bat, we love this is one question. As to on high on stories, we ask you, what's your story, Vas? All our people want to know, what is Vas'
Sure.
story?
So I hope my story will probably inspire some of them who will be listening to this. I had a troubled past. My mom passed away when I was doing my 7th standard. So you know how that works. So education. After my first year of college, I quit my education and was forced to do work. So basically, I career at a very early date. So what used to happen is whenever I go to a company, I joined the company. I'm also, for example, those days they used to have a company called Godrej Pacific, Tech Pacific company. Okay, they used to sell system peripherals and things like that. So I was selected in many of these companies, and when they asked for the degree certificate, I'll just vanish from there. So that was my situation where I was not able to even complete my basic degree education. But thanks to my wife, I actually completed my post-graduation as well as my MBA after I got married. So it's basically literally from scratch I started my life, and whatever little successful I am in life today is because of my wife.
Beautiful. We definitely owe a lot to our people, and it's beautiful how Karthik. It's crazy like how most of our people who we talk to, they're all self-made people, be it
Yeah,
Rajesh, be it Ram, and now Vas as well.
yeah,
All of our people, it's so evident how people who make it to the top are people who've seen it all. Like they had that grit and rigor like how Vas had, and it's beautiful to listen to that, Vas. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And probably the way Vas summed it up, life starts after the marriage, probably. but
Yeah.
but it was such a
Very true.
beautiful introduction. Thank you so much for that, Vas. So, but we want to ask you, Vas, you've been in the sales function for so many years, and it can be stressful. Let's admit it. So, what builds longevity in a sales role, Vas, according to you?
Basically, sales is all about highs, right? You get a high out of it. Being a teetotaler, I cannot talk about highs, but for me, high is a win, high is a meeting, high is a demo, high is a closure, high is a compliment, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Whenever you get a compliment, okay, good job, did well, that good, right? So let me quote one example. In one
yeah,
of my earlier stint in a company called Products Technologies, I used to work there in night shifts for 14 years. Okay, I used to work in night shifts. So I managed to close 10,000 orders with that specific company, 10,000 different customers. So all I have to do is everybody used to mimic me how I'm actually making calls to US customers. So all I will do is I'll pick up the phone and say, how do you like to pay? Is it a MasterCard, Visa, or Amex? That will be the sentence I'll always ask for. How do you like to pay? Is it a MasterCard, Visa, or Amex? That's how I start the statement. So that is how sales has given me a high, all-time high. I will never get bored of sales because conversations. I love making conversations, and sales is always gives me that high. So for somebody who has who's passionate about sales, I actually treat every day as my first day in the job. So that is one of my key success, because I never take take things for granted. In fact, whenever I have, say, for example, first of the day, right now everyone is working from home, right? Let's say that I've actually taken about a 30-minute break or something like that. That actually takes a toll on me, saying that, oh my God, I've actually wasted so much time today. I need to make sure that I cover it up. The later part of the day, I make sure I cover it up. So that's how it is. It's about passionate. You're passionate about what you're doing. Secondly, if it gives you a high all the time, then you don't feel stressful. And the other thing I usually believe is, I don't take breaks. For me, Saturdays and Sundays or even weekdays, every day is the same. Every day I like to make conversations. Every day, if I get a win, I'm thrilled about it. It is like when you treat every day as your first day of your job, you will never get bored about it. So let's say you as a fresher, you're joining a company. What you are trying to do is you are trying to impress upon people, saying that, hey, you know what? You are the best. I'm the best resource you're taken. Okay. So you're trying to impress upon people, try to impress upon your manager, whoever it is. And if you get that feeling of, okay, not take success to the next day. For me, a salesman actually bonds and dies the same day. So there's no tomorrow. If somebody says, okay, I'll give you a sale tomorrow, if you could give me 20%, let's say without discount, I'll buy tomorrow. If you give me 10% discount, I'll buy today. I'll say, okay, I'll give you 10% discount, because tomorrow you never know what's going to happen. Let's say that person is laid off, or he is sick, he's not coming to office. That has happened in multiple instances. For me, a salesman always have to believe. In fact, I'll also quote one funny incident I work for.
Sure.
In fact, he is a fresher. He actually closed a 25 user license, and he was all high. He was actually saying, hey, I've done something great. Of course, it was $8,000, big deal. And within 30 minutes, the CEO, the founder of the company, calls that person. Hey, congratulations, well done, super. Then he says, hey, what are you up to? What are you trying to do now? So I said, I'm celebrating, I'm enjoying the occasion. Okay, that's gone. Okay. So how many more you close a day? Actually, that person got really agitated. Actually, he knocked the phone down because he was not ready for that question. For him, that day I need to pass time because I've tasted success. But unfortunately, if you are a passionate salesperson, that that's done and dusted. You have to be ready for the next day, next success, right? Because success is actually that is going to give you high, and that is going to give you success for every day, and that will keep you going. So what next? So for example, many times I think about it. Okay, what is that will motivate me for today, right? And you have to motivate yourself by bringing in success within yourselves, like small wins, small demos, meetings, closures, and all that.
Yeah. And it's so nicely, and we thank you for bringing the word high on this High on Stories podcast.
Yes.
It is natural for people to feel high. But thank you. But that was a very, very passionately driven answer. Thank you so much for that.
True. Oddly enough, I was watching Wolf of Wall Street last night, and what Vas was telling me was just like what Leonardo DiCaprio. He walks in front of.
Whenever people actually they send this video to me all the time, saying that we could see that in you.
Yeah, like I was just envisioning that. Like it was just last night in which I was watching Wolf of Wall Street, and he walks in front of all his people. He's talking to them about this. He's all motivating them, and it's exactly what I was saying now. So thank you. So one really interesting thing which you said was in which you start your calls by asking people how do you want to pay. So I'm really curious, what would people reply to that generally?
So actually, when there are things that you do before that, that's different, right? For example, this specific solution which I was selling, which I was very successful, is basically a solution that extracts data from the web. So let's say you as a salesman or a businessman, you like to extract data from Yellow Pages, for example. I show you, okay, this is what our software does. This is how you extract. And you say, wow, okay, then I'm not even ready for you. I'm not even giving you time. Okay, this is exactly what you're looking for, right? Yes. Okay, so how do you like to pay? Is it a MasterCard, Visa, or Amex? So that's how it is. Go for it. Go for the kill. There it is. So people always talk about, okay, it's too early to ask for credit card information. So basically, you do, as a salesman, you are never going to get worried about rejections or people going to say what he will think about it. In fact, one of the occasions I would like to quote is, actually one of my customers said, okay, call me at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, I'll give you the order. Okay, it was that time it was about $17,000 worth of, it was a lot of money at that time. So I actually called him about 40 times. Okay, and I did not leave a voicemail, but I actually called him 40 times, and he called me back saying that, hey, I really love your persistence, but don't do this to anyone because people might get pissed off. I'm here as the credit card information. Okay,
Wow.
and he gave me that. The lesson is, okay, sometimes there's always a saying called, okay, crossing the line, right? But it's okay, because let's say that you don't have any more customers to call. Let's say every day you only have one prospect. So what you will do? Okay, there is nothing else you could do. Specific day, my success is driven by this customer, right? So those days were good old days. Right now, I will not do that mistake of calling him 40 times. But all I'm saying is persistence wins.
Beautiful, beautiful, boss.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and persistence also builds teams, right? So
Exactly.
coming to, and
Exactly.
it's interesting that you mentioned that. What does it take to build a high performing sales team, was according to you?
High performing sales team. Basically, my team funda is very different. Usually, people when they are recruiting someone, I'll always look for, okay, those fancy degrees. How does he communicate? But if someone come from a different background, like a struggled background, always look for people who are struggling in their life. Always people who are trying to prove something to someone, saying that, hey, you know what? For people who are really struggling, they want trying to prove someone. They always, I feel that there is actually a fire in them. They may not have the fancy communication what they're looking for, but
Hmm.
given the training, they will communicate, and they'll be very successful, and they will have that belongingness. You know what? This person has given me the chance, but other companies are not giving me the chance. So I always look for that specific fire in them, and that is how I look for people. Because to be honest, let's say that I've not gone to a proper college MBA, so I'm not an MBA, so I don't get fascinated by those so-called MBAs. But I always, to be honest, education is a must for sure. Just because I did not have the proper foundation, it doesn't mean that I cannot expect from others. But all I'm saying is I will look for that fire when I'm building a team. And after all that, you train them, you motivate them. Motivation is a very key factor for longevity in any career. Every day, people are looking for some motivation or the other. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, you know what? You actually did a mistake, but there is something you're learning, right?
Hmm.
There
Hmm.
are, there are different ways you could pinpoint mistakes.
Hmm.
You know what? That's okay to make mistakes. In fact, there are a lot of my mentors have always helped me is go ahead and do mistakes,
Hmm.
make mistakes and learn from it. That's how you need to bring
Yeah.
that confidence in. Otherwise, I will not try anything, right? So for me, I don't have friends outside of my professional world, to be honest. Any of my team members actually become more of my family. That's how I build teams. So what happens is, I'll quote one instance, right? Whenever people are sick, they will come and ask me. They are actually very afraid of asking leave with me because I will not even allow them. All I'm saying, the reason why I do that is we are a small team of 5 people, right? If you are taking leave, the fun part that is involved with your presence is missing. So even if you are sick, come to office. I'll make sure that you sleep here, but be here with me. So that's how it is. For me, it's all about making them as a family.
Hmm.
In fact, there are instances where I have to fire people. Okay, whenever I'm even firing people, I make sure that I even place them. So my relationship with them does not stop there. Even when they leave jobs, my relationship with them continues. In fact, right from my first company to my current company, most of my colleagues are my family friends. So that
Wow.
is how I believe in, because whenever people stay, it's not because of the salary,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
okay, this is a good company, great culture. There is also one X factor, which is about who I'm working with, who are my colleagues. Am I comfortable with them? Okay, is my manager actually treating me well? Is my manager actually trying to help me to succeed in my life, professionally and personally? Whenever there is a personal problem, the first person they come to is me. Okay, I'm in a breakup. Can you help me? How exactly you handle this similar situation like this, a similar situation? So professionally and personally, I'm always there to help them out. In fact, during this COVID situations when people are without jobs, mostly the first person they reach out to me is me. So I try to help them out. So in fact, the advantage of when you treat them as friends is they when you shout at them, they actually treat them. They don't take that personally. They think,
Personally,
you know
yeah.
what, Vas is a great person, is a great leader. When he shouts, he actually respects us. I tell them, I know you could do this. Okay, stop this and do your work, perform. So for me, it's very comfortable when I close. People have different opinions about moving closely with your teammates, right? They always say, you as a manager, you cannot do that. But I'm against that policy. For me, that is a success format that has worked perfectly for me.
Yeah. So summing it up, spotting the spark in them, motivating them, and treating them as family. I think those are the biggest things that help build a high performing sales team. Thank you so much, Vas, for bringing it up.
Giving everybody a chance, right? Beautiful. I mean, Vas, I wish we could do that now, in which even if one person coughs, everybody scoots the room. So I wish we could do what you said just now. And the warmth which you spoke about, right? It's even though we're all doing this virtually, we're not in the same place. The warmth from your voice still reached us. Like
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
beautiful.
actually.
So yeah, that's crazy. Like that, these are things which just have to be there in you as a person. So
Yeah.
so also us even between all this, you were talking to us about saying everybody's frustrated. I mean, a lot of people are frustrated that sales. All right, end of the month, number hits 1, and my target hits 0 again. I have to start from 0. But you took it to the next to an extreme extent and said it's the same day. It's not even 1 month. Every single day is like that. So you keep yourself motivated with your small wins. And we just spoke about building a team as well. You spoke to us about how their family, which is beautiful.
So
How do you help them adapt that mentality?
So basically, celebrating the wins is a very factor which I always believe in. Small victories, you celebrate that. When I started my direct sales career in direct sales, whenever I take an order, my company used to sponsor the lunch for that day. So for me, that was motivating. Okay, today lunch is on the company, so I'll have to make sure that I actually go for that lunch, right? So things like that, small wins, small compliments, that will motivate them. But of course, you are going to have half-color days, right? But as a team, when you work as a team, let's say there's a 5-member team, okay? So one person cannot win the same every day, right? The other person, the next day, the other person wins. So, you tell them, you know what, today, is the savior. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, Sam is the savior. That's how the wins are called. So each one is doing the day. So as a team, we perform. It is not about individual wins, right? As a team, we need to perform. That's how I take it.
Beautiful. It's the camaraderie and it's each
Exactly.
other helping us.
Everything happens when the bonding happens. When the bonding happens, even when they are having off-colored days, it's okay, man. Tomorrow is going to be a day. So that's how it is.
Yeah, awesome. And Vas, you experience and you actually work with so many people in the sales function. So, and I think you are the right person to answer this. According to you, what do you think that a lot of sales reps are not doing today that they should be doing? What is that one thing that you feel they should be doing more often, Vas?
Okay. So when to give up on a sale, right? That's
Okay.
the biggest question. People
Wow.
talk about touch points. People talk about, okay, 9 touch points, 13 touch points. Okay, give up on a customer, go to the next one, right?
Yeah.
But I always believe that you cannot give up on a customer for a simple reason. It does not have to be that same company. That customer could be a prospect in your next company. So don't give up on a customer. And whenever I mark follow-up activity in Salesforce. I use Salesforce.
Hmm.
So I'll say, I'll put a mark as one last time. Okay. The next time I'm opening that up, my gut feeling will say, why don't we try one more time? Okay. One more time. One more time. So it will keep on going. Then I'll say one final last time. It will be on my own vocabulary. I will write that. But somehow or the other, many times it has worked for me. So you never know that. So you don't give up on a customer until he says no. When he says no, ask him a question. Okay, I know you're saying no now. Can I touch base with you next year? Can I touch base with you in 3 months? Can I touch base with you in 6 months? So the customer, the way prospect behaves right now is, oh my God, this guy is actually taking my life off. Let me say no to him right now. Okay, is it okay to touch base with you within 3 months? Okay, I'm not worried because he's not going to trouble me next week. Okay, 3 months. God knows what's going to happen after 3 months. Forget about it. Okay, 3 months. So he indirectly actually commits to you saying that it's okay to call him or contact him after 3 months. So that is how I build what is called a secret list. So what happens in typically in sales meetings is you cannot talk about the same prospect month on month.
Okay.
When your founder or your manager, whoever it is, calls you for a sales meeting, you cannot have the same list. So when the same list happens, your manager will say, "What this prospect? Just move on to the next prospect." So I will have a secret list. The secret list is prospects which I will not show in that list, but I'll simply secretly following that list because I'll make sure that on my non-successful days, this prospect will give me the sale. Many a times it has happened for me where just because I followed up so many times, a prospect has given me a sale. But it is, for different solutions, it differs.
Yeah.
It is not that, let's say a $50,000 solution you are selling, the prospect cannot give you a sale just because you followed up so much unless he has a requirement. It differs. Correct. But let's say you are selling a $250 worth of a solution. I'm talking about a situation where a prospect does not need it that much, but if I have it, it's okay because it's a good to have tool, but it's not a must to have tool. But just because I followed up him umpty number of times, okay, he's just making your day.
Yeah.
So it's good to have a secret list where you are simply following up with this, making sure that relationship is actually materializing, going to the next level. Even though in this company, because if you look at my customer list or LinkedIn connection list, my prospects go from company to company to company. I go back to the same old prospects, same old connections and say, you know what, I joined this company. If I go to my history and see, I've actually tried to sell him 3-4 different solutions from different companies to the same prospect. But he's not blocking me still. He's still, because the thing is, if he becomes a customer in my first company, he's happy about it, then that factor is considered. Yeah. You know what? If Vas sells something, that will be a good solution because I've actually benefited from the solution which he sold in the first company. Yeah. So now not even a single prospect is a wasted prospect. There is something to get from this.
Yeah. Yeah. Never ever underestimate the power of a follow-up.
Yes, never ever. Yes, exactly.
Very, very nicely put, Vas.
Thank you.
That was such a pro tip there, Vas, in which do not miss out the prospects who are moving to other companies, because when these director, VP level people move to another company, they're still decision maker. And
exactly.
If you have that,
in fact, there's a good point there. See, let's say that I'm actually joining a different company. You know what? I wanted to prove that company saying that, hey, you know what? I'm going to make some new innovations. So I've used this in my old company. This is a good solution, and I want to give it a chance. So in Sales Navigator, there is actually a tab in LinkedIn where you could say recently people who have changed jobs, right? So if any one of your customer has changed jobs, you could actually go back because he's actually a prospect for you because he's happy with your solution.
And there's a golden nugget right there. Also, forget 7-8 touch points, 40. If you do not hit 40 touch points, at least do not give up on a prospect. When you hit 40, okay, maybe we can start second guessing. But
no, actually, 40, probably the customer will say no. customer will say not interested. So probably you have to stop that.
Right. Also was done. So we spoke about what people should be doing, but let's also celebrate our people, as you just mentioned. What are people doing right? What is it that makes you really happy when you see sales folks do nowadays?
Um, the so-called techno-commercial sales guy, right? I really love them because I'm not from a technical background. So when people are coming with a so-called techno-commercial background, where they are able to read before they produce a demo, right? It is not about mocked-up demos, made-up demos, and things like that. They actually read well about the company, read about the personality, and actually they do their homework before actually going in front of a customer. So that's something which is really amazing. Those days that was not there. That what do we call the build up before a demo, the build up before you meeting up with the customer.
Yeah.
Those days it was not that much. Nowadays, people actually salesmen show yourself as a solution specialist. They are experts in their domain, right? It is not anymore. Okay, I will only do this one. I will only pitch in. If you're talking about technical things, I'm not the right person. Somebody else will come in. Right now, it's more about he's a complete salesperson. He could do the demo, he could do the sell, could sell himself. So that's how it is. So that's something which really fascinates me.
Nice. The research which goes in the effort. Nice.
Yeah, yeah. And on that note, we'd like to really understand from you what advice or suggestions would you give to somebody who's beginning a career in sales, right? They're all at sea and they probably graduated out of college, or people who are actually struggling to, to come to terms. What is a piece of suggestions and advice that you would give us?
Unfortunately, sales as a career is not like you're programming or something,
Yeah,
which is something forced on you, right?
yeah,
And sales is something which is you have to be passionate about. Uh, People will say it has to be in your gene, right? That is something people see. If you look at it from childhood, we are trying to sell something to everyone. For example, when you're a kid, you're trying to sell something to your parents so that they are actually going with your idea of whatever you're asking for, right? But people take that sales as a stopgap arrangement. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. If you are really passionate about selling, and if you're really passionate about numbers, you're really passionate about conversations, you're really passionate about building relationship, then you are apt for sales. Otherwise, I don't think it cannot be a forced assignment, something like a programmer or something, because if you have done your BSc computer science, if you have done your MCA, then you could be a programmer. That something comes naturally. But unfortunately, sales is it has to be natural. It has to be in your blood vessels. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, very true, very true. In fact, not just sales, even functions like inside sales, field marketing, so many different sales functions. Unless you have that inherent ability that I want to push. Unless we do that, it's.
In fact, I'm an exception in that. To be honest, I'm actually a forced sales guy. When I actually joined sales as a career, I went to my father and said, "Hey, you know what? I joined my sales assignment." He said, "Whenever somebody comes home, you actually go and hide yourself in kitchen. You are joking that you joined sales. You don't even know how to talk with others." That was the first comment my father said. Okay, because on those days, I always thought sales is probably a money-making machine. So sales, I got fascinated about sales. So, so for me, sales was not natural. It was just a forced assignment on me, but I over a period of time, I actually brought it in my genes.
Absolutely. So nice to know about your work and your history. Was really nice to know that. So with that, we arrive at one of the most exciting pieces of the High On Stories podcast, and this is something a lot of people have actually been looking forward to, and a lot of people have said this is the most exciting amongst all the podcasts that we do. So we are on to our rapid fire round. Vas, you have 5 seconds for each answer. You have the chance you can actually buck the trend and you can give a single word response, or you can even go for a bigger response should you have the need for it. But your time starts now. Yeah. The first question is, who's your favorite salesperson or marketer?
To be honest, all my managers are my favorite salesperson because I always try to steal something from them. whenever they go for calls, I always try to steal some, okay, the way they sit, the way they shake hands with someone, the way they talk, and always they use the keywords they use. I get addicted to it. So my managers, all my managers or my motivators or mentors, or whatever way you want to call it.
Superb answer. What is your favorite brand?
OnePlus.
Wow. Who's your favorite author?
To be honest, you'll be surprised by this answer because I don't read that much. I love to read people rather than reading books. But if you want to, something which I'm a really regional reader rather than people who normally read the English blogs and things like that. Coming from a Tamil medium background, I'm a regional reader. So the authors which fascinate me are more of M.S. Udayamurthy and Balakumaran.
Wow. But yeah. I mean, those are stalwarts in the Tamil literature.
Yes.
Yeah. Who's your favorite entrepreneur?
There are two contrasting people which I've come across in my life. One is Suresh Samandam.
Yeah.
The second one is my current founder, Ashwini Ashokan. So both are contrasting styles of operations, but both are equally successful in their own lives.
Yeah. Immense people who have touched so many lives.
Different style of operation completely, but equally successful. I learned a lot from both of these.
Absolutely. Who's your favorite movie star?
My favorite is Kamal Hassan.
Oh, awesome. Great. What keeps Vas awake at 2 a.m. in the morning?
2 a.m. in the morning, I'll be checking mails and see if out of 100 emails I've sent today, at least one prospect has sent me a okay or no or whatever it is.
Awesome. If you have the chance to have a billboard on a highway and you have the ability to write anything on it, what would that be?
Don't give up. Just keep walking.
Awesome. And Vas, if you had the opportunity to have dinner with three people who are either living or not living right now, who would they be and why?
So as I mentioned, I lost my mom in my 7th standard school. One will be my mom. The other two will be my wife and my son.
Oh, awesome. That's so family centric.
No, because one thing which I want to share on this is my wife actually knows each and every day of my work environment. Not because I'm working from home right now, but she knows all the personalities of my office. Just by the voice, she will say that this is this person. Because that's the kind of picture I put on of all my persons I'm interacting with. She's more like my Salesforce. She actually follows up with me. Did you follow up with this specific customer? She will actually follow. That's how it is.
Very nice. So, Vas, if you hadn't become a salesperson, what would you have become?
I'm a movie freak, actually, to be honest. So I would have probably done something around the lines of collecting information about movies. If you ask me a question of which year this movie came in and who's the director of that movie, I will right now answer that. So that's the kind of passion I have towards movies.
Awesome. Great. So that brings us to the end of the rapid fire round. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, so we are almost to the end of the podcast session, Vas. Thank you so much for sharing your golden nuggets.
No.
And we want to ask you this: what is that one thing that you want people to do after they see us, after they watch us on this episode, Vas?
Just keep working. Just keep working. That's it. So there is no secret to success. I hardly believe in luck. So if all your hard work will pay off one day. If not today, tomorrow it will pay off. So just keep struggling, keep hustling, and success is all yours.
So thoughtful. It was so thoughtful.
Beautiful. Say no to tomorrow to your prospects, but tomorrow to yourself. Beautiful. Beautiful, Vas. I also loved how you said that everything is learnable and you can always pick something up. So beautiful. All right, Vas. So I mean that was a lot to take in, and I have so many more questions I want to ask you. So will all of our people. Where can they find you after this conversation, Vas?
I'm 24 hours online on LinkedIn. So anytime they could ping me on LinkedIn, I'm always there to help them out.
Done. We'll make sure we leave Vas's profile in the description as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
But
much.
thank
Pleasure is
you.
mine.
Yeah, but thank you so much, Vas, for taking the time out to talk to us. There are so many
Absolutely
people
my
who
pleasure.
who are watching us, who are listening to your nuggets. So thank you so much for that. And we look forward to hosting you sometime soon, sometime later.
Definitely, definitely. Pleasure is mine. It was a pleasure talking with you both. Take care.
Absolutely.
This talking to you again. Thank you, Vas.
Wow, Kaushik, that was some session with Vas. I love the way he brought about so many new things and so many things that we've probably heard or read in blogs, but to hear it practically from somebody who's seen it and done it over so many years, things like motivate your sales people, you motivate your team, treat every day as if it's a new day, and never ever underestimate the power of a follow-up. That was superb. Those were really immense thoughts coming from Vas, Kaushik. I enjoyed it.
Same here. True that, Karthik.
Yeah.
So one more thing is, so I'm honestly not able to tell you what my top takeaways from this conversation was. Like, I'm not able to pin down on few things which I loved the most, because
Yeah.
there were just so many things throughout this conversation. I was like, what? It's over already.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it is honestly a bullet train
Yeah.
just ramming ahead.
Yeah.
So one thing which stood out a lot for me was the way how in which he said every day is a new day, in which you might be this really big hot shot who's like, all right, so you closed like a $7 million deal, and after that you're like, it's okay, rest of the months I can just chill because I've
Yeah.
already done 700% my quota.
Yeah.
But he's like, okay, that's good for you, but no, it's on to
Yeah.
the next. So that was such a powerful point, and he even gave us so many actionable points, in which if someone's moving from one place to another, still have that rapport with them, that company might in itself might be a new prospect for you when it comes to B2B.
Yeah.
So such actionable and valuable tips throughout.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Terrific thoughts. And I didn't even realize when we were done talking to him. So it was really a powerful session. One of the best that we've enjoyed together, Kaushik.
True. I'm sure all of our people did so as well. So let us know what was your favorite part of the conversation? Was it the rapid fire as always, or what else did you enjoy? Let us know in the comments below. Also, are there any other topics, or is there a particular guest you want us to talk to? Let us know. We'll make sure that we get their story and share it with you no matter what. Until then, you might want to subscribe so that you do not miss out on the super cool story we have for you lined up next week. Until then, we will see you soon. Keep getting high on stories.
Cheers, guys.